Hey, what's good, football fans? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to this channel, be sure to subscribe and also hit the thumbs up down below on this video. So for today's video, we will be ranking the coaches from the Big 12 going into the 2025 season and give an analysis and who is on the hot seat, who's feeling the pressure, and who is safe in terms of job security. So if you guys go back and watch the videos that I did for the ACC and the SEC, just like here with the Big 12, I have these coaches color coded. Now, the coaches that are in green, those are coaches that are safe. The coaches that are in yellow are not just yet on the hot seat, but they need to start showing some improvement. And the ones that are in red, those are the coaches that need to win now or else you will be fired. And so, just like with the other two conferences, I'm going to start from the bottom up and go from there at number 16. And at number 16, I have Brent Brennan at Arizona. So, Brent Brennan, last year was his first year at Arizona. He took over Arizona when Jed Fish left to go to Washington. And last year was disastrous for Arizona. They just went 4-8, and a lot of people had expectations for them. And so we'll see how things turn out. Maybe he can get Arizona turned around. But I got Brent Brennan at number 16. So at number 15, we have our first coach that is in red and needs to win now, and that is Scott Satterfield at Cincinnati. So Scott Satterfield, this will be his third year at Cincinnati, and it's been disastrous. Only his record at Cincinnati, 8-16. That's not good. And this one was a head scratching hire when they hired him away from Louisville, and he was starting to feel the heat a little bit when he was at Louisville, and so I'm kind of surprised that Cincinnati would hire him. But he has got to make a bowl game this year, or else he's going to be gone. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Cincinnati, like I said, 8-16 overall. They went 5-7 last year, 3-6 in Big 12 play. So I got Scott Satterfield at 15. Number 14, I have Scott Frost at UCF. So why do I have Scott Frost so low here? Well, keep in mind this is his first year, or this will be his first year with his second stint at UCF. Now, when he was at UCF before, he was there for 2 years. They went to the New Year's Six Bowl, went undefeated, and then that led him to getting the job at Nebraska. Here's the thing, though. UCF at that time was a Group of 5 school. Now they're in the Big 12. And so how will Scott Frost, how will he how will he adjust with that now that UCF is in a Power 4 conference? And we saw what happened at Nebraska with high expectations, and it was a train wreck at Nebraska. Very disappointing. Had high expectations, thought he was going to do well like he did at UCF, going home to his alma mater, and it was a train wreck. And so we'll see how he will do now that UCF is in a Power 4 conference. Number 13, I have Willie Fritz at Houston. And so this is his second year at Houston. They went 4-8 last year, finished towards the bottom of the Big 12, only 3-6 in conference play. And so I think Willie Fritz is okay. Now, if they don't show some improvement this year, then I think next year is when that seat's going to start heating up. They definitely cannot afford to have another year like they did last year. So I got Willie Fritz at 13. So number 12, this was very hard for me to do because I never thought I would live to see the day when Mike Gundy from Oklahoma State, I never thought I'd see the day where I'd have to put him on the hot seat, but I'm going to have to. So Mike Gundy, he's been at Oklahoma State since 2005. His overall record is 169-88 in his 20 years there. But last year was abysmal, especially Oklahoma State Now that Oklahoma and Texas were gone, a lot of people thought, well, maybe they would become the new alpha dogs, if you will, of the Big 12. And they disappointed. And not only did they disappoint, they went winless in conference play last year. They went 3-9 overall. And Oklahoma State has been somewhat on a downward spiral over the last couple of years. And it's a shame because I like Mike Gundy. He's one of my favorite coaches in college football. And hopefully they can get things turned around. But unfortunately, I got to put Mike Gundy on the hot seat going into this season. Number 11, I have Rich Rodriguez at West Virginia. So this was a hire that kind of surprised me. So Rich Rodriguez, he's back at West Virginia for his second stint there. His first stint there, they went 60-26 under him. Obviously very successful. Nearly made the national championship game back in 2007. That was back when we still had the BCS. And with the way things ended, with the way his first stint ended when he left out of nowhere to go to Michigan, I was very, very surprised that West Virginia would bring him back. He replaces Neil Brown. And so, obviously, the expectations are going to be there in Morgantown. And maybe he can get things turned around up there. We'll see. But for now, I've got Rich Rodriguez at number 11. So, number 10, I have Dave Aranda at Baylor. So, last year when I did this, I had Dave Aranda on the hot seat. And it started to look like in the first half of the season that he was going to be fired at season's end. But lo and behold, Baylor, they turned things around. They finished the year on a good note. They went 8-5, 6-3 in Big 12 play. And he's obviously, ever since they won the Big 12 a few years ago, Baylor, they've been on kind of a spiral, on a downward trend. His overall record, Dave Aranda's record at Baylor, 31-30. And so, I think he saved his job, but he's not completely off the hot seat. But I think that seat definitely did cool off a little bit towards the season's end. So that's good for Baylor, good for Dave Aranda. So number 9, I have Kyle Whittingham at Utah. So last year, again, last year was not good for Utah. They went 5-7, 2-7 in conference play. And Kyle Whittingham's record, he's been there, just like with Mike Gundy, he's been there since 2005, and he's been very successful. Won some conference championships when they were in the Pac-12 and all that. But I understand that, they had some injuries last year, most notably with Cam Rising, their quarterback. So we'll see if Utah can turn things around. And so with that, I have Kyle Whittingham at number 9. Number 8, I have Lance Leipold at Kansas. So I think Lance Leipold is safe, and I think Kyle Whittingham is safe, obviously. So last year, Kansas did not get off to a good start, and they had expectations too. Kansas did, and they started off very slow, but they got some good wins. Barely missed out going to a bowl game. And so we'll see if they can keep the momentum going for this year. But I have Lance Leipold at number 8. Number 7, I have Sonny Dykes at TCU. So I think when I did this last year, Sonny Dykes, we all know the story. His first year at TCU, they went to the championship game, to the national championship game. Of course, they got their butts kicked by Georgia. And then they didn't make a bowl game the following year. And I thought, well, maybe he needs to start picking it up a little bit, and he did. And so TCU went 9-4 last year, and Sonny Dykes' record at TCU is 27-13. So I think he's okay for now, and so we'll see how things turn out for the Frogs this year. So number 6, I have Joey McGuire at Texas Tech. So Texas Tech, they went 8-5 last year. Joey McGuire, this will be his 4th year. His overall record is 23-16, and things are trending upward in Lubbock, and maybe Texas Tech this year can contend for a Big 12 title and a college football playoff spot. And I got to say, I missed the mark on this one. I was not a fan of Joey McGuire as a hire for Texas Tech with no coaching experience, no coordinator experience. And so, but it turns out, it's going to be all right, I think. But nonetheless, I got Joey McGuire at number 6 from Texas Tech. Number 5, I have Kalani Sitake at BYU. So, and he's another one. Kalani Sitake was a guy that I thought needed to step it up for last year. I had him in yellow. This year, he's safely in green. And so he's been at BYU since 2016, so this will be his 10th season there. And this is BYU's, I think, 3rd year now in the Big 12. And his first year in the Big 12 didn't go so good. But last year, they turned things around. They went 11-2. They were in contention for a college football playoff spot, contending in the wild Big 12, where there was like 4 teams contending for the conference title. And so we'll see how things turn out. Now, BYU, their quarterback, Retzloff, he left for, well, we all know the story. I'm not going to get into all that. So how will they adjust without him? And so we'll see how things turn out for BYU. But I got Kalani Sitake at number 5. So number 4, and looks like I was wrong again, number 4, Deion Sanders at Colorado. So last year was certainly much better for Colorado. They went 9-4. Deion, he'll be going into his 3rd year, 13-12 record overall. The question is, though, Shedeur Sanders is gone, Travis Hunter is gone, and so who's going to fill that void left by Colorado? And so we'll see how things turn out. But they did improve drastically from last year, so I'll give them credit. Deion, he's done well. Did well last year, so we'll see if they can keep it going. So I got Deion at number 4. Number 3, I have Matt Campbell at Iowa State. So I know a couple years prior to last year, things had kind of fallen off for Iowa State, but they picked right back up and nearly won the Big 12 last year. And, they went 11-3. They had a really good year last year, and I love what Matt Campbell has done. He's one of my favorite coaches as well. The way he's turned Iowa State around from a doormat to a national contender, so that's really cool. And so his overall record at Iowa State is 64-51. This will be his 10th season there. He's been there since 2016, and so I like Matt Campbell. I think he's a really good coach, and who knows, maybe Iowa State can get. Maybe they can get over the hurdle and make the college football playoff. But I've got Matt Campbell at number 3. Number 2, I have Chris Kleeman at Kansas State. So Chris Kleeman is going into his 7th season now. 48-28, obviously very successful at Kansas State. Has done a really good job there. They went 9-4 last year, and again, the Big 12 was a very competitive conference last year. And so, with that, I have Chris Kleeman at number 2, and number 1 is Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State. So, who would have thought that Arizona State? I think they finished year before last. They finished dead last in the Big 12, if I'm not mistaken. And then they come actually. I take that back. I think last year was their first year in the Big 12, so I could be wrong. But anyway, the first year at Arizona State was not very good for Kenny Dillingham. And then last year, I mean, nobody saw that coming with the way they played. They win the Big 12, and then they go to the college football playoff. I know they had some good pieces on that team, most notably Cam Scatterbo. That really good running back who I think should have been in the Heisman conversation, but that's another discussion for another day. But what a turnaround. So Kenny Dillingham, his overall record there at Arizona State, 14-11, but they went 11-3 last year, so that is pretty awesome. All right, so that is my coaches ranking list for the Big 12 for the 5 season. Let me know, guys, down below. Who do you think's on the hot seat? Who do you think should be ranked where? Leave it down below in the comments section. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Catch you next time.